Hi everyone, welcome back. Finally I'm back with doing videos again. These following videos I'm going to do and upload will be the last time you see this as the background behind me, because I'm going to do a bit of remodeling here at home. I'm gonna move my bed and move my TV bench and TV stand and the bookshelf you are standing on. So anyway, as you can see on the title, before I get to the title and the information that I have, I want to say please subscribe, like this video, comment down below if you have any questions for me. And if you don't want to comment your question down below, because everyone will see them, you can contact me on the contact information that stands in the info box below the video, where my Twitter, my email, and I will set in my Instagram as well, so you can contact me everywhere there. Anyway, back to the video. As you can see on the title, storms is my passion. And now you're probably wondering, why is storms my passion? And I'm going to get into that. About 20 years back, when I was 9 years old, I saw a commercial for Twister movie, and I thought it was really cool. So I asked my dad if I could see that on the movie, or my parents really, but my dad was home at the time. So I asked him if I could see it, and when he looked at the TV in the newspaper, where you can see the different channels when times on different shows and movies will be shown, he saw it was too late for me because it was school night and I had to go up quite early to school next day. So he said, why don't we instead record it on VHS, the thick bands, before DVD came out. So I said okay. So he helped me to set it up and all that. And the next day when I came home from school, I saw this movie with my dad and my mom, and my sibling also home. But my mom and dad sat in nearby because they didn't know how I would react on this video or on this movie at all. So they sat in close by, because if something was scary or something was not safe for me to comprehend in my mind as a 9-year-old, I had them as a safety guard. So I saw the whole movie and I fell in love. And the first thing I said about 2 weeks after rewatching it on this VHS, this band thing, the video, I told my mom and dad, when I turn 18, I want to go to US and see this tornado with my own eyes, with a team that I can trust, if I find someone who is into this world as well. And my parents took it like, okay, she probably will change her mind when she is 18 or something like that, or it will disappear from my mind even. But I thought of it. I literally thought of it every year until I was truly 18 years old. I still had it as a plan to do, but things changed with the World Trade Center. To travel to US, you had to do certain things to get into US and stuff like that. And I felt I didn't want to stay only a week or two, but a full 3 months of the summer months there. So I decided I could put it on the side note and put it away for a while until I had money and time and all that stuff. But time has gone, and here I am. I have still not been in US at all. It's still a dream to me to go to US, to see a tornado with my own eyes, with a team who is a storm chaser team, and be safe with them, because I know they are all about safety before anything else when it comes to chase these tornadoes in US. Because in 2013 a storm chasing team was killed, and this team was Tim Samaras and his son Paul and their photographer or film creator Carl Young. They died in the 2013 in El Reno. This tornado was 2.6 miles wide wedge tornado. Yes, you heard it right. And it was rated as EF5 at the end. And that one killed those 3 storm chasers. And that made me to rethink about the safety issues and rethink my plans a lot. But I felt still, I want to do this. I really do want to go and see a tornado with my own eyes. So I have that with me forever. Since I also had plans to move and live forever or permanently in US. But storms in overall, I like hurricanes, I like tornadoes, I like thunderstorms. But they do scare me. I can say that. With through my heart, I do feel scared. I feel a bit of apprehensive when it comes to these horrendous storms and thunderstorms. Even earthquakes scares me, the fires. I have a healthy dose of scares with this subject overall. But tornadoes is something that I always love to read and take a moment to read on. If something really bad has happened, I really want to read it and learn from it. And I also think of all those people who have died in these tornado or hurricane with tornadoes even. And there are so many who dies in a tornado. Even to this day, still many dies because they don't have the right choices to get to a shelter, or they are too far from a safe shelter, or they don't have a safe shelter in their homes and in the schools. Even in US, even the schools don't have these safety equipment like a basement or a safe place to go to, and so many children has died because of this. There was a tornado back in 2011 in Joplin. That one was rated as EF4, but that killed 7 children in a school. Really sad and really upsetting. When I read that, I was crying like a crazy crying, and I wished that those children and those teachers even who were in this school, because this tornado came much earlier on the day when it usually does, and sadly 7 children died in that school, but 10 children died that day in total, and many more adults. I think it was up to 50 people died just in Joplin. So that made me rethink a lot. And I have contact with some of the tornado chasers in US. I have spontaneous contact with Josh Werman, Howie Bluestein. I even have some contact with Reed Timmer, but it's just spontaneous once in every while, because they are busy people. They can't answer on anyone's question you have to them or something like that. So you need to be okay with that sporadic contact and spontaneous contact, that they answer your question every once in a while and stuff like that. And it's pretty cool. because I got to see Reed Timmer on the Storm Chasers TV show that has become a YouTube sensation. There I first thought he was a crazy man who runs around and screams and his pants rips up in the middle of a storm or a tornado going over a field, stuff like that. But he's really an amazing person behind all of that, and so is Howie Bluestein and Josh Werman and everyone else in this area of storm chasing, even if it is a hurricane or it's tornadoes or thunderstorms or whatever weather phenomenon they are doing. They are amazing people, and I wish that more could find them, or not find them, but be able to talk to them about their own fears and own personal question that you have for them. Because I did question Josh Werman, who was one of the first back in 1990s to storm chase, and Howard Bluestein was already out in the 80s. Both of them I asked, where did this love for storm chasing came from and stuff like that, because they never revealed that much about themselves about it. And I got the questions. I think it was in an interview with Josh Werman. I got to know a little more about himself, where that came from, the love of chasing tornadoes came from. And also Josh Werman was the first person to ever install a personal and minimized Doppler radar on his truck, on his truck loader of his car, and drive around with this spinning UFO similar thing that spins like this crazy wild spinning while there's a tornado on the ground or a tornado on its way to the ground. And it's amazing because it has helped so much with the time to get to a shelter for people, because back in 1974, when a tornado outbreak that was, I think it was 16 states, 148 tornadoes, 6 of them, yes, you heard that, 6 of them was in EF5, and the worst was in Xenia, Ohio. And back then you had almost nothing, no minutes to get to a shelter, and that tornado outbreak made change, because they made change all over the time. But it also was that year that Ted Fujita, who named the Fujita scale that became later an EF scale and changed Fujita scale, he is the true hero of the tornadoes, what they are doing for damage, and also to get the more safety for people. He is or was an amazing person back in 1970s, 80s. He died in early 1990s, I think, which is sad. But he was an amazing person. He really did his job to make things right before he died. And that made people to realize we need more information, we need more time to understand why tornadoes forms, what we can do to get things better when it comes to safety, for especially, and also get better understanding of why some thunderstorm clouds or supercell produce tornadoes and some don't. At the moment right now we have about 1,000 to 1,500 tornadoes in the US per year, and almost once or twice a year nowadays Before it was once a year or once every 2 years that you had an EF5 tornado. Right now we have had only EF4s, which is bad in itself because it does wipe the house away, but it doesn't do the same damage that an EF5 does, which is completely wipes the slate clean and the house is shambled in pieces, and you never find a piece of your house anymore. An EF4 can lift your house like its whole house, make a tumble, and land somewhere close by or nearby where it should be. An EF5 just wipes it clean, it'll never be found. And that's really bad, because many people do have some sentimental things like photos, family photos, things that are family things back in the time, just completely gone, never to be found again. And so many people has done tremendously big mistake when it comes to tornado and tornado warnings overall, because many has taken the tornado siren that has helped so much since 1974, when they realized every city, small as big, needs a siren. And right now they have about, I think it was up to 200,000 placed all over the US in every state, because it can happen anywhere. But there are a middle part of the US, from Texas up to the South Dakota and Canada border. There is the tornado alley, and that is the place you not want to live unless you are going to be a tornado chaser, or you're grown up with this threat of tornadoes overall and know how to protect yourself if and when a tornado happens. And right now in the EF scale they have written in EF6, but I should say this, it doesn't exist at the moment, but it can happen one day, very very soon. I hope to God it doesn't, but they have a fear that an EF6 could happen in the near future or in the next generation even, because of how the weather and climate are at the moment. It shifted so much these past 2 years, from 2018 to now. We here in Sweden, we had a very hot and dry summers, and then the winter has been really cold, like crazy cold. And this year I fear that this winter will be even worse than the last winter was. It will be cold and longer, and we will have snow. We don't get snow very often, and that same thing is hurricanes. We have had hurricanes, yes, but they are very far apart. The last one I think was 2014, 2015, I don't remember. But that was the last time it happened, but it became a low pressure before it came over the land. It did strike Norway and Denmark, but when it came to us, it was already back to a low pressure with lots of snow, like crazy lot of snow. So it was horrible. And yeah, we do need to prepare ourselves more for the extreme weather, even here in Europe or in Australia, Asia, US, Canada, South America, Africa even. We all need to prepare ourselves for extreme weather that will be more normal to happen within the years that comes, because we can't stop everything to happen. So all my wishes to you is that you really think about what you do for the climate and the nature itself can project into some extreme weather in future. So think of that at least. So until next video, I will do very shortly after this one is over. I hope you will have great time of listening on this video, and I hope you take in what I have said in this video and really like what I said. So until next video, bye for now.